Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Experience podcast, inside the business, buzz, and brilliance of Black entrepreneurs. Here is your host, Dr. Frances Richards.
What happens in Vegas goes all over the world on Black Entrepreneur Experience episode number 469. Thank you for joining us as we elevate the Black Entrepreneur Experience by interviewing CEOs, thought leaders, innovative thinkers, and Black entrepreneurs across the globe. I'm your host, Dr. Frances Richards. Are you looking for world-class acceleration strategies and resources that will empower your life, your finances, and your business? Lean in and listen to Natasha N. Rawls. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Frances. Thank you for having me today. I'm super excited to spend this time with you and hopefully inspire some Black entrepreneurs all across the globe.
Well, we are so excited. I've given our audience such a brief bio, Natasha. Why don't you fill in the gap? Share with our audience what you'd like them to know about you and your business.
All right. Well, let's see. So many different pieces from a family from South Carolina, with our heart of entrepreneurialism. I guess that spirit just runs in our blood. My family is full of entrepreneurs who started businesses. And so even from a young girl, I would want to start business, jumpstart business, try new businesses. And so, of course, some of the backstory when it comes to business is many of them fail. And so I had some failing businesses, but as one of my favorite thought leaders says, you learn how to fail forward. You don't give up. You keep going. Eventually, after raising up, I would say about 10 to 12 different businesses, I settled on using my initials and raised up an LLC that was kind of an umbrella company so that I could do all the suite of things that I enjoy doing. So that included anything to help promote the gospel of Jesus Christ. So CDs, music, travel, minister, speaking engagements. And then the Lord opened up the door. So I got into some real estate investments. And then, of course, regular investments, trading in the marketplace, all those fun types of things. And here I am today in 2024, living my best life, enjoying the freedom of entrepreneurship and having my own business and the flexibility to come and go as I please. And it wasn't an easy road. Some people, they want to jump out of their full-time job and just go straight into starting a business. But I used my full-time job to help fund my business. So for many, many years, I had a full-time career alongside of working my businesses. So here I am.
What is your zone of genius, would you say, Natasha?
I am so multi-talented and multifaceted. I have so many different talents and skills. And I think if I had to sum it up, just being flexible, being able to learn those different skills, apply them and utilize it in your business helps to make you a better entrepreneur. And so I've learned since, I can't be the jack of all trades and the master of none, right? So I've learned how to outsource and pay other people who already have that expertise, because you have to weigh the learning curve versus productivity. Do I want to spend 10 hours learning this new software program when I could just hire someone who already is fluent in it and can do it well? Those are decisions that you have to make as you go. But I think one of my top qualities in genius mode is being flexible, identifying opportunities, and being able to roll with the punches.
Who's your ideal client?
So for me right now in this season, I get to serve Christian professional women, C-suite executives, women who show up every day, they get the job done, but deep down inside, they know that there's more. They're still feeling stuck. Maybe they're lacking confidence in being able to lead their teams at work. Maybe they're struggling in how to manage their finances behind closed doors. Maybe they're making their six figures, but they still don't know how to manage it, because that's something I believe in Black culture that, we kind of missed out on. We didn't get a lot of teaching and training in that arena. And then, of course, I work with young professionals who are ready to jumpstart their own business, who want that independence and freedom and flexibility to travel and still make a livable wage.
You talked about being a hybrid entrepreneur, that you had your 9 to 5 as well as you were building your business. Talk to the person that is a hybrid entrepreneur. What advice would you give them?
Okay, well, I love that question, Dr. Francis, because, oftentimes when you're on a job, you're on a 9 to 5 and people aren't valuing you, you feel like you're stuck in a rut, you're just going to work, going through the motions. Now they have the term of quiet quitting. Your body's there, but your mind is somewhere else. For those individuals, I understand those days when you just want to pick up your purse and walk out the door. Like, I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to take this. I could be putting this energy and time into my own business. So I want you to stay the course, stay steady, be consistent. Don't just pick up your purse and walk out the door, but you're going to use it as a means to an end. You're going to give them your best effort. You're going to give them the best quality of work, and you're going to serve your customers and clients in that business well because you're learning skills. You're learning things that you can use in your own business in the future. So just think of it as training ground. And also that's kind of like your investment opportunity because you're going to use that job. You manage those finances well. You're going to use that to fund your true passion and your dream. And so if you're really good with time management, I love to chunk my time. So I'm going to serve you 9 to 5. You got that. You got my mental energy. You got my focus. But once I'm off the clock and I'm clocked out, now I'm putting that energy in my own business. And so all the time I'd have to work on my mindset. If I could work hard for someone else's vision and to help fatten someone else's pocket, I need to be willing to work just that hard in my own business and even more so because of my why. And what was my why? The thing that kept me focused was I want flexibility. I want to be able to travel and work from anywhere. I love, some people call it the laptop lifestyle. And I still want to be able to enjoy the lifestyle that I like. I like manicures, pedicures. I like to get my hair done. I like self-care. So I want to be able to still afford those things without the stress of any debt and any struggle with paying bills. So, looking at what do I need to be successful financially, for my peace of mind, for my mental health. And then that is your why. You keep that in the forefront of your mind because it gets hard. Some days you do want to just throw in the towel. Entrepreneurship, I tell people, is not for the faint of heart. And you've got to be your own best employee and your own worst boss. You got to be, that taskmaster to drive yourself, push yourself. You're not going to have anybody standing there saying, your evaluation or your wage depends on this. You have to be that for yourself. And so keeping that why in the forefront really helps to make the difference, to keep you pushing through in those midnight hours when you would rather, be asleep or on vacation. But you want that vision, you want the plan, and you want to see it fulfilled. So keep pushing.
Natasha, you were talking about the failed businesses. And when you're going through that, and I like when you being authentic about failing forward, and it's true, the faster you fail, the quicker you know what's not working, and you're able to pivot and shift. What was that aha moment when you knew that your business was going to be successful?
Well, there were so many aha moments when I knew it was failing. When you look at that bottom line and there is no income and there's no people out there or audience for your products, then something is off with the business. And so you're taking all of these skills and all the things that you're learning, you're learning the do's, you're learning the don'ts. Of course, you're working in your 9 to 5 as you called it, a hybrid entrepreneur. So you're learning skills on that job. You're learning how they market, how they bring products to market, how they serve their customers. You're either learning how to do it well, or you're learning, this could use some improvement in this area. And so when you translate all of those skills and bring them into your own business, it's like, okay, now it's do or die. And so for me, just years and years of consistency. And I wanted an overnight success. And sometimes people are afforded with that blessing. But what you see is that they fizzle out so quickly. They have this overnight success, but they don't have the sustaining power. And so oftentimes I believe the Lord takes us the long way around so we can have that proving ground. And so we can really develop the muscle to sustain a business. And so in those first years, it's a struggle. There's challenges, there's bumps in the road. You're learning how to smooth it all out. But then the aha moment comes when you're in the system and everything's flowing together and you got clients coming in on a consistent basis. And then you're like, yes, it's working. And then you put that on repeat. And then, anything can happen in the market. So you have to be flexible. So back to that skill to be able to shift so that you can stay relevant in the marketplace and bring new products, new services, and just serve your customers well with the spirit of excellence. And so I think that's the aha moment when you know it's working and you see it in your bottom line that, hey, this is a viable business.
Talk about mental wellness and managing a business.
Mental wellness is the key, in any area of life. And definitely, if you're going to have a business, you're going to have to be mentally stable. You got to be focused. You got to have tenacity. I read a pamphlet years back about pit bull faith, and they talk about when the pit bull grabs you, they get that locked jaw and they lock in and they're holding on for dear life. You can shake them, you can punch them, they're not letting go. And so you have to have that kind of pit bull faith and that type of tenacity, that mental strength and fortitude to keep going, because it's easy to give up. Yes, it's very easy to give up and walk away. In life, people give up. They give up on their vision, they give up on their dreams. And that's where, the work that I get to do as an empowerment specialist, I get to come in and show people, that there is still hope. Hope is alive. You can still be resilient, have a bounce back moment, and that the plan can be better than it was before. One thing that is inevitable is change. Things are going to change. And so you've got to be ready to roll with change, embrace change. There's nothing you can do. Change is going to come. And that's where that mental wellness and that flexibility comes into play, because you have to be able to go with the flow. Can't fight it. No matter how much you want, we can't control it. We can't control change. So whether it's other people are changing around us, the market is changing, our family changes, our spouses change, change is going to happen. And so we are responsible for our part. How are we going to respond? And so I always purpose that I'm going to keep an attitude of gratitude. I'm going to always have my Thanksgiving in the forefront, and I'm going to have a positive mental attitude. Yes, challenges come, hard things happen. I might get sad for a moment, but I can't stay there. I can't wallow there. And so that mental resilience is going to be key, to being successful in any area, any relationship, any part of your business.
Speaking of gratitude and thankfulness, I'd like you to have a thank fest. And I want you to thank situations and people that have been impactful in your life.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the Lord for life, health, and strength. I want to thank my parents for their guidance and their wisdom and for being solid and stable and being an amazing example. I want to thank, my children, the foster kids that I got to raise, for giving me patience, teaching me patience and resilience and helping me to be more flexible. I want to thank all of those mentors that came alongside, that shared their wisdom and were authentic, and vulnerable in front of me and showed me the reality of what it takes to be a multiple millionaire and what it takes to be a business owner, the sad times, the happy times, the in-between times. I want to thank those bosses that treated me so bad. Thank you, bosses, because it let me understand my value and my worth. Even though it hurt, it hurt me to my core. I was giving my best, but thank you so much for releasing me so that I could fulfill my destiny. Thank you to those people who were naysayers and said that it couldn't be done. And they, kind of gave me the side eye as a single mom and didn't think that I was going to amount to much, or they just took me as just a byword. Thank you for that, because it made me buckle down and hunker down and give my all and go forth to prove that, hey, God had so much more in store. And so I'm just grateful to all of the friends, the family who prayed for me and encouraged me along the way, and who said, you can do it, Miss Mackey, against all odds. Miss Mackey Rawls, you can make it. All of that. So I'm just grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to you, Dr. Francis, those who've given me a space to be able to share my story and testimony and to encourage and inspire others. To all of my clients, thank you, clients, for allowing me to serve you over these years and inspire and motivate you and push you to your next best level of yes. And I think I covered everybody, all my aunties and my uncles, my cousins. Thank you, thank you, thank you, family. I have an amazing family, so supportive and so loving. And even in the hard places, they will tell you like it is, give you their opinions unsolicited. But their place of love wants to make me better, make us better. So thank you.
I want you to have a monologue, and I want you to name this person, living or not. And this person has inspired you so much. Who is that person, and what are you saying to that person?
Wow, Dr. Francis, so many people that I would love to speak to. That is a deep question. I don't know who would pop into mind. So many people are popping into mind. So I'm like, one person, one monologue. I'm almost like, if I don't say mom, she's going to say, why did you pick me? I want to talk to Jesus face to face, but he and we talk all the time, my ace, helping me make it through and make decisions. Some of the people in graduate school working on my master's degrees that I would study, like Warren Buffett. And, some people would be upset with this name, but I did learn from the young version of Trump about the real estate. And that was how he built his original wealth. So, what could I say to Trump? I don't want to talk to him today in 2024. I don't know if I have nice words. Dr. Francis, I don't know how to answer that question. Who are we going to talk to? Well, I'll just give you insight of how I talk to the Lord. And so that's going to be my monologue. So, Father, just thank you so much for your wisdom and grace and mercy to be able to be who you have created me to be here in 2024 with all the mistakes and mistakes that I've made along the way and sidestep and failings, moral failings, different things that I've struggled with. God, you have remained faithful. You have been the best friend that a girl could ever ask for. You've been the best father. You've been the best husband in those lonely times. And so I'm just so grateful to know that you're solid. You're my number one ace, my ride or die. And so I appreciate you for this opportunity to be able to inspire others and motivate others as I've learned and still learning and growing in this space. And so thank you, Father, for another day of life. Thank you for this breath that I'm breathing. And I want to honor you with it each and every day, each and every moment. And so the things that you would have me to do, the doors that you would have open before me, Lord, help me to walk through with grace, with boldness, with courage, with strength, and help me to take others along with me and help them to fulfill their destinies as you're taking me on my quest to fulfill my destiny. And so I just am so grateful in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you for that. Advice you wish you had followed.
Oh my goodness. So we could definitely bring mom into this conversation. Advice I wish I had followed. Well, as a young woman, and she was teaching me how to be chaste and follow instruction. I wish I was not as rebellious as I had been. And I always would buck the system. Anything that I was big and bad enough to do, I was always trying to outsmart the adults in the room. I wish I was a little bit more humble and understood where that place of rebellion comes from and just would have been more gracious. I think I would have made less mistakes along the way and had maybe a little bit easier path. I might have avoided being a single mother, but then I wouldn't have the pleasure of my beautiful daughter today. So I don't know, some of the main pieces of advice turned out to be some of the greatest blessings when I didn't follow it. So it's kind of a catch-22, but one thing I do know is that God already knew I was going to make those mistakes and not listen and be rebellious and do my own thing. That was the key area in business. There were people who said, don't start a business. It's so hard. It's not going to be successful. You're going to fail. And they were right in some regards, but they didn't know the end of the story. And so that was advice that I'm glad that I didn't listen to, that I continue pushing forward. And good advice getting a mentor or a coach. Here's one. That's when I started gaining the most traction in my business, is when I hired other people who were already an expert in that field who helped me to stay focused. And I think when you're multi-talented, you have a tendency to do the squirrel, like, oh, shiny object over here, go there, do this. You're everywhere, right? And so when I hired someone who said, okay, we're going to focus, we're going to finish this project, that's when I started seeing the most traction in my life and in my business. And so that was excellent advice. So I always encourage people, if there's a place that you want to level up in your life, hire a coach, get a mentor, get an accountability partner, and gain some traction, get some forward momentum. I hope I answered that question well.
You were authentic, and that's the key. Talk
Amen.
about coaching and vetting a coach. And there's a lot of individuals out there with the title coach. How do you find and vet a coach?
Right. And I think that's very valid, because there have been so many wolves in sheep clothing in the industry of coaching. And so I think it's good to look at credentials, look at track record, look at resume, and see, how long has this person been who they said that they are? What is their track record in consistency, in character? I think that's important. There's a lot of coaches out there who are just good at taking your money. They're good at sales, but then your results aren't so good on the backside. And so I tell people, look at the testimonials and see the authenticity. What were the breakthroughs that people received? I know for me in particular, I love, just being an open book, being authentic. So I do a lot of posting on social media where I'm talking about my story and I'm sharing information. As coaches, we give away a lot more free than we ever get paid for. And so that's what you're looking for. You want to be able to discern the heart of your coach. Are they for you, or are they for the money? Do they really bring some good value to the table? Are they in it to serve you well? And I think those are some of the qualities and characteristics that you're looking for. As far as pricing, a coach who's been in the field for a while is going to cost a little bit more. They have longevity in the arena. They have credentials, so check those credentials out. And those are things that can make a good coach, But then there's some amazing coaches that don't have very many credentials. Maybe they're brand new in the space. Their pricing is a little bit less, and they're, still trying to learn how to navigate the space, but they have good hearts and they're ready to serve you. So just pray about it, discern, check the track record, check that character, and then go for it.
Natasha, tell us a story and only share the information that you feel is necessary about a success story with one of your clients.
All right. Well, so many success stories. I think what I love the most about coaching is it's a different model, especially when it comes to ministry. I've been in ministry for over 25 years, worship leader, associate pastor, Bible study teacher. I've kind of run the gamut. And so being in this particular space, you get to see the transformation up close and personal. So when you're on a stage and you're in church, you're singing, you're preaching, and you're giving out all these seeds, but you don't know who's picking up those seeds. You don't know if they're taking them to heart and if it's germinating. But in this coaching model, you get to almost spoon feed the seeds and really see them grow and transform as they take, your advice and use the action plans that you create together, and you watch them walk out their destiny. And so many of my clients, just the breakthrough that they get, it's like their eyes light up and they're wide awake. They were stuck in a place and they were just struggling with so many different challenges, from parenting to managing finances to relationships with their spouses. And just to see how God came through, not necessarily me as a coach, but just the anointing and the skill and talent that the Lord has given me, guiding them and directing them and praying with them, just to see how he opened up doors, gave them fresh perspective, gave them new strategies, new skills, how to deal in different relationships, how to jumpstart businesses, jumpstart ministries. And I look back and so many are flourishing. Of course, there are those who did not take the advice or didn't follow through. Their accountability was a little bit low, but yet they're still standing. They weren't able to fully commit or, whatever. Life is happening, right? But they know that they have an open door. They can come back to your coach, Natasha. They can come and check in with me and we can still pray together. And, like I said, we give away so many free things. So every Saturday I have this power up call, absolutely free. People just call in, you be in your PJs and you just receive. And so I share some inspiration, some encouragement to kind of jumpstart, get you ready for your upcoming week. And then we pray together. 30 minutes is just like, we come in, power pack punch, and then we're off. And lots of testimonials from that. People are like, how did you know what I needed today? Well, it wasn't me. I was just prayed and asked the Lord, what are your, I call them empowerment warriors. What do your empowerment warriors need today? Because sometimes warriors get their armor chinked and sometimes they take a hit, right? And so sometimes you just need some healing salve. You just need some water poured on a wound, rinsed off. You just need to be held a little bit. And so that's what that power up call is for. And so I get a lot of, great testimonies from that as well. So
talk about your top 2 mentors or influencers and what lessons did they teach you?
All right. So every person or mentor that has been in my life, you either learn the do's or you learn the don'ts. All right. So I've had some mentors whose hearts were in the right place. And so, in church, they always say, the Lord take you a place where your character can't keep you. So I've seen people, really skyrocket in ministry or in business, but then, they were doing unethical things or their character wasn't solid enough and they weren't able to sustain the business or sustain the success because of character flaws. And so those types of things taught me, either how I want to be or how I don't want to be. And so not that I'm perfect, not that I've done everything right, we make mistakes, but some of the major mistakes. So you look at rich people, artists who get arrested for tax evasion. So I've learned we don't mess with the IRS. My husband says it is the IRS, THEIRS is theirs. Give them their portion. So those are some things I've learned just from a distance from some individuals, things that I've learned that are super successful is diversify your portfolio. You want to have lots of streams, multiple streams of income. And I remember when the prophets and the church was talking and telling people, all right, get your multiple streams of income flowing. And some people listened, some people didn't. But I was listening. And so I started looking, how can I maximize the time that I have and turn that into money? The energy that I have, I only have so much. How can I turn that into money and then passive income, things like that? And so I started creating different streams of income. And so another helpful pointer that I've learned from my mentors is the power of prayer, even in your business, the power of partnership with the Holy Spirit. Having the Lord as the CEO. And, I'm kind of I love how one person put it, the CSO, Chief Servant Officer. I'm here to help serve my clients, serve my staff, even as the leader, I have a servant leadership style. And so that really makes a difference when you pray over your business, pray over your employees and staff. I'm in a growth phase right now. And so even shifting my mindset, my newest mentor, an accountant, we had a one-on-one session, a coach, and we met together to talk about finances. And so always my mindset has been, how can I get as many write-offs as possible in my business so I can save money and keep most of the income, right? And so her shift that really has helped me is it's okay to pay taxes because the more money you're making, the more of a blessing you can be to other people. You can hire employees, and it's okay to pay taxes because if you're paying taxes, that means you're making more money. And so that really shifted my mindset. So I'm in an expansive mode where I want to hire some employees in my organization and be able to help support other families through the work that we do here, NNM LLC. And that's just my initials, the LLC, my former initials, because I'm a newlywed and now I have new initials.
Congratulations. Speaking of being a newlywed, we want to talk about the three M's: marriage, managing money, and managing a business.
All right. I love that. Marriage, managing money, managing a business. I'm learning and transitioning through all of that. So let me just kind of give the backstory. I was married previously for about 13 years. So in my mind, I already had marriage figured out, right? So I was single for 10 in between there. And now I've been married for 7 months. And so the reality is, I have to learn my new partner all over again. And all the strategies and things that I thought I knew about marriage, I'm in a refresher course. And so even in the dating phase, so here's my phrase I love. If we can't build together, we can't chill together. All right. So when I was dating and meeting different people, I'm looking at how would they mesh with the future plans of my business? How are they going to mesh with how they manage money and how they're taking care of their lifestyle? And if it's going to be a major conflict, then we can't build together, we can't chill together. So that would be kind of some of the things that I would look at, in that dating phase. But to God be the glory, my husband, he's a pretty good money manager. Sometimes he gets a little loose, but he allows me to have a little autonomy when it comes to the finances. But yet we're together, we can blend some finances together as well. So we have a pretty good plan for managing money. As far as managing the businesses, he too is a business owner. So I help him in his business. And mine, I don't really need a whole lot of help, but he gives me some inspiration and encouragement along those times when I need that. And so I think it's a really good fit. And so finding a partner who has a similar vision as yours, similar interests is going to be key to being able to sustain your business and continue where you are. Someone who's going to be supportive, not just in word only, but in deed. If you need them to come into the office and help you move furniture or, whatever you need in your business, if you need an encouragement, if you need some finances, a person who's going to help loan you some money in your business, all of that. I think it's important. So you said marriage, managing your money, and then managing your business. I think I covered all three. But yes, it's a learning curve in there.
Thank you for that, and congratulations. And always remember to keep the honey on the moon.
Oh, I love that. Keep the honey on the moon. Thank you, Dr. Francis.
You're welcome. What's working well now for you in your life and business, Natasha?
I think the main thing is this year I'm being very, very intentional with my time, being really focused with my energy, because we only have so much focus, only so much energy. And so I just want to be very targeted. And so just being consistent with my schedule every day, consistent with all the things that I know that needs to happen in order to generate business, generate leads, interact with people so that I can close deals. And so in order to close deals, you have to be in front of people. You have to be talking to people. And of course, coming out of COVID, for me, it was a mindset shift there. I got so used to being on Zoom and, I love the flexibility you can have on your PJ bottoms and put on your blazer and still be at work, right? The comfortability of being on Zoom. But I think I forgot that it's okay to be with humans face to face. And so I used to, prior to COVID, make Starbucks my office and meet with clients all the time and talk to people, just randomly encourage people. And I kind of gotten out of that because of COVID. People were wearing masks, and so nobody was smiling at each other. You couldn't tell, are they looking at me? Are they trying to run away from me? And so that connectivity. So now just bringing that back into my business, I think is being helpful. I'm traveling again, so both nationally and internationally doing speaking engagements. So getting out amongst the people. And I still feel there's still a little bit of hesitance, a little bit of fear out there. How close should we be getting to people? And then, of course, the media still stirs up things every now and then. There's a new strain. Oh my God, this is happening. Monkeypox. Ah! But it's okay to be together. And we really need that. As humans, we need that connection. And so that's helping me in my business to get that momentum back and get the juices flowing again, the creative energy. And like I said, we're in a transition. So I'm excited to be able to expand the business this year and be able to help support some other families through employees in my business. So
That's exciting. What is the most costly lesson that you've learned in life or business?
costly lesson. I'm laughing because I'm still investments and learning how to trade, high frequency trading, and learning those platforms. If you don't discipline yourself and you don't practice consistency and manage your risk in those arenas when you're trading, you're doing the foreign exchange, the Forex, that's kind of a popular thing that a lot of people are into right now. You can lose your shirt and pants and house and car. And those are costly lessons. And so for me in that particular arena, as part of my business suite, I'm just going through more training and I have to really fight with myself to manage my risk because it can turn into almost like people who need Gamblers Anonymous. Trading in the zone is fun, but if you start trading like you are a crack addict or like you have a gambling addiction, you're going to lose a lot of money. And so there were times where I would get excited and I just push the button, trade, and I wasn't managing my risk. So those were costly lessons, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in lessons learned. So I'm better now. I think I'm healed. Still room to grow though.
Healed, delivered, and set free.
Amen.
What is your weakness as an entrepreneur?
I have a lazy streak. I am lazy. And I think part of that came from COVID. I'm gonna blame COVID for everything. How about that? I think it was already there, but all that binge watching, I never really was a TV person. One of the things that I strongly believe entrepreneurs and top leaders, they watch TV for education. But people who are just wasting time, they watch TV for entertainment. So I got into watching TV for entertainment, just like the rest of the world, just binge watching shows, binge watching shows. And so now I have a problem. If I get in that mode, if I let myself hit that couch and start a new series, it's hard to stop. And so I really try to avoid that or try to be more disciplined there. I do believe in self-care and some downtime, but that part of me can be scary. And then you look up and it's 3 days later, and you just wasted 36 hours doing nothing, and your business was sitting on the sideline. Oh my goodness, you didn't serve any clients. You didn't post anything on social media. You wasted all this time. And I'm always a strong proponent of teaching that time is your most valuable commodity. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. And so you want to maximize every moment. And so TV watching and that streak of laziness and procrastination. That's another kind of characteristic of laziness is when you start procrastinating. And so it really turns into self-sabotage. Oftentimes we have habits and things that we do where we're self-sabotaging ourselves. And then we wonder why our business isn't growing or flourishing on the level that we want it to because we've been self-sabotaging. So these are things that I have to watch for as a business owner. I can't let myself get on that couch and start a series unless I truly have some downtime. Maybe if I'm on vacation, okay? I can't procrastinate. It's amazing. I was just listening to a podcast. If you have a deadline in a week, you can get that project done in a week. But if they give you 6 months, why do we end up taking the whole 6 months? You can still get it done in that week, right? And so I have to be on guard for procrastination and any self-sabotaging habits and avoid those, and be intentional about that. So
Let's talk about legacy. When it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
I really feel like the Lord's going to let me be like a Mother Teresa, that I've done a lot of good around the nations of the earth, touching lives of children, orphans, those down and out, those that are up and out, from the outhouse to the White House, everything in between, being able to just touch lives. My husband is a retired veteran, and so we really have heart for veterans and want to help with like a housing, help them get benefits. And so we actually put together a veterans journal. We released that last November for Veterans Day to really help veterans get organized and be able to track their thoughts, especially as they're integrating from active military life back into civilian life. I was a single mom, single teen mom, and so I really have a heart for young women who find themselves in the way, as they used to say back in the day, single moms. And so I want to be able to give them a hand up and show them that, hey, your life is not over. Yes, people may see you as a statistic, but I was still able to get my master's degree. I tell people with my baby on my hip, so she and I went to college together. We raised each other, but you can still have a success story. And so I really want to put together a condo facility to help, single teen moms have a nice livable place, cooperative community where they're supporting one another, childcare, all of those types of things while the moms are going to school and, just helping them to get to that next phase of their destiny. So those are our two passion projects. And, we just want to help wherever the opportunities are. And of course, that takes finances. So we want to go big or go home, make as much money as possible so we can give the majority of it away because we're not going to need it. Yeah. And just be a blessing to the world at large, to our communities at large. So that's the legacy.
Natasha, if you conducted this interview, what is the one question you would have asked yourself? I'd like you to ask the question and answer it.
I saw that on that list and I was like, she's going to ask me all the great questions, so I don't need to prepare this one. All right. So a question that I would ask myself is, Natasha Mackey Rawls, what gives you the tenacity to keep going when you could easily have thrown in the towel? And so my response would be, my faith, that hope, that glimmer at the end of the tunnel, that things can get better no matter what situation you find yourself in. I told you guys, change is inevitable. It can change for the better. You can go up from here. And so I always keep that in the forefront of my mind, that no matter how flat I may feel, Les Brown, one of my favorite speakers, he says, if you fall down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And so that's my mantra. If you can look up to the heavens, look up to the sky, know that things can get better. It might be dark out there, but guess what? The sunrise is coming again. The sun is going to rise again. And so get up, get up, get up, keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Like Dr. Martin Luther King says, if you can't walk, then crawl. I'm not going to say it right, but if you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. The bottom line is keep moving forward. However you can make it happen, put that one foot in front of the other, but just keep some type of forward momentum. And God will meet you and exceed your expectations. And I tell you what, you can only go up from here.
We've come to the part of our interview. It's called Rapid Round of Fun. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I'd like you to give me very quick answers. If there's something you desire not to answer, feel free to say pass. Are you ready for the rapid round of fun?
All right, let's go.
Your ideal car.
I want me a G-Wagon, just for fun.
Your favorite color.
Purple.
Your favorite holiday.
Christmas.
Your first job.
Hardee's. I was a drive-through headphone set wearing. Yes, taking them orders.
The last movie you saw.
The Beekeeper. Amazing.
You relax doing what?
Give me a massage.
Your favorite singer or rapper.
Whitney Houston.
Your favorite dance song.
Everybody dance now. How about that? I don't even know the name of it.
What food you eat every week, no matter what?
It's going to be some form of chicken.
Your favorite comfort food.
Any type of bread, donuts, crackers.
Work out or hit the couch?
The healthy girl in me says, let's work out. but the fat girl in me says hit the couch. So I'm split.
Natasha Rawls, thank you so much for joining us on Black Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. Before we let you go, share with our audience the best way for them to connect with you and do business with you. And feel free to leave all your social media handles.
All right. Well, I'm rebranding. I told you guys I'm a newlywed. So my new website is yourcoachnatasha.com. Most of the handles are going to be that. On YouTube, Your Coach Natasha, LinkedIn, Your Coach Natasha Rawls, Facebook, Your Coach Natasha, Instagram, Your Coach Natasha Rawls. All right. So you can find me anywhere. Of course, you can always email me as well, info@yourcoachnatasha.com. And then toll free, 1-855-622-5397. You can reach me toll free. Your Coach Natasha. God bless you.
Thank you, Coach Natasha. That is a wrap.
Thank you for listening and subscribing to Black Entrepreneur Experience. We would love for you to leave a review and rating on iTunes and share with your friends. For show notes and more episodes, go to www.beepodcast.com. Join us next Wednesday, and remember, green is the new black. So keep your bank accounts and your business in the black.